Yeah, hi everyone, welcome to Emsley Lodge for another week. Races just keep getting washed out, don't they, and transferred, but we only ended up having one runner through the week. There was a horse called the Khan. He sort of battled into third a bit. It was interesting, isn't it? We went to St Arnaud where the races are of 20,000, like they race once a year. The winner was a $180,000 horse, the second horse was a $140,000 horse, and the odds-on favourite, I think of Kieran Mars, was they paid well over $200,000 for it. Our little 5,000 bucker going around sort of was a little bit out of place, but he was pretty competitive, wasn't beaten far, and but that's what you're dealing with here in Victoria. It's what you got to race against at the when you go up the bush. But anyway, that's just how it is. Yeah, runners this week, a really difficult week again. I think they've washed out 4 meetings this week and they've transferred about 3, so yeah, it's really difficult. I'm going to be forced to run a couple of horses today. One Redivo, and he's just been dying to get to the races. I just need to get him up and going, and his poor bugger's having 6 weeks between runs, so he needs to get running. He'll improve it out of sight off today, but he needs to go to the races. And a horse called Rockarama, he ran a couple of really good races, then got caught right off the track his last start, and he's desperate to go to the races. And I think I found a really good race for him, but on the synthetic, and I hate racing these horses on the synthetic, especially the Ballarat synthetic. It just didn't hold up in winter when they were maintaining it, never mind now. So anyway, that's what we've got to do. If we've got to force to run them, I'm going to have to do that. As far as the rest of the week go, as I said, there's a heap of race meetings been washed out. I had about 4 or 5 in at Mortlake and Witchyproof on the weekend, but they're all both called off, so I'm going to have to look for races somewhere next week for them. We'll definitely have runners if they race. Poor old Kyneton's underwater, but on Kyneton Cup Day I think we'll have probably 3 or 4 runners. Spezia, got her in on Friday night at Moonee Valley. She's in great nick. She ran really strongly the other day first up. She seems to have come through it really good. Just love her temperament at the moment. It's really good. She's nice and relaxed, and she's just such a happy horse. I think last time in I was just maybe riding her a little bit close. She won at the Valley sort of sitting outside the leader, but it might turn out that it was a slowly run race and it sort of suited. So we'll just see how she goes. But if she, unless she bites me, but if she just can land, you know, 4th or 5th rather than outside the leader and then finish off. She ran on a couple of tracks last time in where she just wasn't travelling strong enough. But I thought the other day we asked Geordie Childs just to sort of make sure she travels and then finish off, and she did that and got to the line really good. So from a really nice barrier, hopefully she can sort of land 4th or 5th or something and get every chance. But she's going really, really well. Looks like a pretty even sort of race. There's no standouts in the race, so she'll get every chance on Friday night. Yeah, I had Miletus in actually today at Benalla, but they washed him out and they transferred it to the synthetic, so I won't expose him to synthetic. I'll try and find a race for him somewhere. I've got him in at Kyneton on Kyneton Cup Day. It's actually a benchmark 70, so the chances of him getting a run are really low. I had him in on bloody Geelong Cup Day, and he got balloted there and didn't get a chance to run, and I thought he'd run a really, really cheeky race, and the way the race panned out, I reckon he would have been right around about the mark, albeit his first up form is just, so we probably need to get a run under his belt. His second up form's pretty good, so try and get a run for him somewhere next week, and then second up over probably a mile, something like that, he'll go really well. But I think he's back to his old form. His track work's great and he looks fantastic. Yeah, Diamond Luke, had him in at Ballarat on Monday, and they took him off the grass and onto the synthetic. So, excuse me, he has had a previous tendon injury, this horse, so I won't run him on the synthetic. So he'll have to find another race. I've got him in at Kyneton on Kyneton Cup Day, an 1800 metre race. He's going to be a fair way down the ballot, so we're just crossing our fingers that he gets a run. But that looks like a pretty good race for him. 1850, third up looks ideal. His 2 first and second up runs have been really strong. If he can get a run there, he should shake the life out of that race. So hopefully Diamond Luke can get a run at Kyneton on Wednesday. Yeah, come along, Jeffrey. Got him at Kyneton on Wednesday. He just had a bit of time between runs. His preparation this time in has been really, really good, and he seems to be going really well. I loved the way he galloped here yesterday, so I'll try and get him. I'll give him a gallop on Saturday morning. If he works up nice and sharp, we'll try and get him into the race at Kyneton. Once again, he's just these benchmark races, you have to be just about a 66 or 67 to get a guaranteed a run in them, so it's a bit of a lottery. And with all the washed out races, there's sort of a massive pile up of horses, so hopefully he can get a run on Wednesday at Kyneton. Yeah, Grayble's ready to go first up. She's in really good order. Just can't really find a race for her. couple of meetings that were sort of targeted for her have been washed out. So I might even run her at Kyneton on Wednesday. There's an 1100 metre race there for her. It's probably just that 100 metres short, but I want to get her to the races and sort of get her to that 1400 metres. So I'll probably send her around at Kyneton on Wednesday. Try and just ride her off the speed and have her hitting the line, but she could run into a place, it'd be great. Loyal Consul, he's ready to race. So I'll give him a nice solid trial on at Geelong on Wednesday, and he trialled up really good for a staying sort of horse, middle distance sort of horse, as he sticks his tongue out for me. So he'll go to Kyneton on Wednesday. There's a nice 1450 race there. If I don't run him there, he'll go to Geelong on Stakes Day, but I'll just, Kyneton's even going to be a question mark whether they run, I suppose, but I've got him in both of those races. I'll have the opportunity to accept with him at Kyneton, have a look at that race. If we don't like that race, we can hang out and go to Kyneton, but go to Geelong. But he's ready to race. He looks in really good order, and he's lovely and sound. He's been a real tough horse to train, this horse, so hopefully have a really good prep and he can win a few races for us. But that's Loyal Consul.
G'day guys, welcome to Around the Stables. This week's horse is a horse called Loyal Consul. We took a few horses to the trials the other day at Geelong, and he was one of them. He jumped away okay, and then Zach sort of let him build through his gears, and I thought he hit the line really good for a horse that sort of, gets over a mile and a quarter, mile and a half last prep. He's always been a horse that his attitude and the way he wants to go about things has been a bit upside down, but I think this time within reason, it is his head's in a good space, and hopefully that can translate to him performing as well as he can on the racetrack. He's not blessed with ability, but I think he does give it his all every time he goes out, and where he puts him in the run's always going to be an advantage, especially over the summer months. These tracks where you can race on speed, it's certainly a big advantage, and wherever he runs, he'll be hard to get past once he sort of gets to that sort of mile and a quarter trip. We'll kick his campaign off either at Kyneton Cup Day or Geelong at Belan Cup Day. So, if it is a rain affected track, that certainly won't bother him, but we'll certainly kick him off over 1400 a mile, where he sort of get back and find a spot, and then hopefully he's hitting the line really strongly. But both tracks he's raced well at before, so really keen to get him in the races. He's fit well, he's a ball of health, and I think he's in for a good prep.
Okay, our guest tipster this week. Our Selzy last week declared himself the greatest punter of all time. 0. Well, they didn't even get near him. I don't mind if they get beaten and they run a place. Zach Spain got on here, tipped us a ripping winner on Friday night, and his other one on the Saturday got beaten short half head. So well done, Zach. Guys, I'd be following Zach's tips before I'd certainly be following Selzy's. Our tipsters have been terrible, haven't they? They've been so disappointing. There's only one thing I can do then, go to the professionals. Is racing.com, James Tzaferis, the presenter of the year. He gets to go over to Ascot and everything, so we'll call him the big guns. Here's James Tzaferis from racing.com.
G'day Jamie, thanks for having me on the weekly video. I can finally say that I've made it as a racing broadcaster. Wrapped to be a part of it. Hopefully we can find a few winners for the punters at home. We're going to start nice and early at Flemington on Derby Day. The Carbine Club is a race that I'm pretty keen to bet each way into, and the horse I'm optimistic about its chances is Elkington Road for Mike Moroney. I've been following him all campaign. He was a super winner 2 starts ago, and I didn't think he was too bad in the Caulfield Guineas. He wasn't beaten far. He stuck on really well, and around the $8 or $9 mark on Saturday, I think he's a great each way bet. I'm pretty keen he can run top 3. So Elkington Road in the Carbine Club, and on Tuesday, there's still a bit of water to go under the bridge when it comes to the Melbourne Cup, but nothing's going to change my opinion of the favourite, Deauville Legend. I'm not being too creative here, but he's got a really good profile, this Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old from Newmarket. He's winning the Great Voltager was super impressive, and all reports from Werribee are that he's travelled well, he's settled in well, and he's working really well. So Deauville Legend, definitely the horse to beat for me in the Melbourne Cup. You can maybe multi the two of them up, get a nice price there, and hopefully come Tuesday afternoon, we're celebrating. Enjoy the week.
That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Come Cup week this week, Derby Day, Saturday, Cup week. Interesting, isn't it? Jamie Carr, she's the ambassador for the Flemington Carnival, and she's riding in Sydney. That's amazing how that works out. But anyway, yeah, really interesting, isn't it? I think the Cup's certainly fallen away this year. There doesn't seem to be those couple of big dominant horses. It seems to, even the press seems to be sort of all over the place. Nobody's sort of spruiking up too many. So hopefully one of the locals can get up. Rob Windmill has declared, vow and declare. Could not possibly be any keener on it. And so he's very keen to see that. He was a pretty good run in the Caulfield Cup, and so we'll see how he goes. Be great for Danny O'Brien to win it again, one of the locals. So everyone have a good Derby Day, good Cup Day. Until next week, see you later. What is righto. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah, that's it for another week.
Hang on. Go.
That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Interesting Jamie Carr, isn't it? She's the ambassador for racing the Flemington Carnival, and she's riding in Sydney on Derby Day. Runners this week, you want me to keep going? You can cut me off there and I'll say I'll start at runners this week.